Mindless Prattle.
She's kerfuffled because she doesn't know what to do.
I don't like it when we have changes.
What changed?
We're in a different setup.
We're in a different setup? You mean I was closer to you this week?
Yeah, you're right here. It's weird. Like, it throws me off my groove.
Your groove? What are you, the Emperor? What are you talking about?
Did you ever watch The Emperor's New School?
Emperor's New School?
Like the TV show?
Fuck? Oh, the TV, yeah.
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 Melina. Hottie.
Oh, I remember her.
I loved her. I was obsessed with her.
I gotta move my laptop. Anyway, there we go.
Oh. Did we know that they had found the submarine last week?
I don't know. They all died. Spoiler alert.
They found pieces of human remains today, the Coast Guard said.
Good.
Sorry, that's pretty depressing.
That's something. That's just something for the family to bury, all right? That's not anything important.
Also, we talked about the potential Russian Civil War last week. It did not happen.
That was so disappointing, dude.
I think they were doing something shifty.
Every article related to that was disappointing. Okay.
Was it?
Yeah. Did you not see the articles?
I saw a few, but not like...
Every article was disappointing. Every article was just like, oh yeah, they reached an agreement. Nobody reaches an agreement.
Because nobody knows what happened. That's how shady it was. The people that were marching to the Capitol just stopped, talked to like one of the commander dudes, turned around and left. And then Putin got on an airplane and disappeared for a few hours.
Yeah, okay. That's everything. That's every event in Russia, okay? But it was just super disappointing when they were like, oh yeah, there's a mercenary group marching in Russia and now they're leaving. Okay, great. Like what?
I think Russia was doing something sneaky that we don't know about yet. But how
They're
weird is
always
it?
doing
That was like the second or third story of a billionaire disappearing into something metal and like not showing up for a while.
What?
There's like 3 stories. Like there was the Titan submarine incident, but there was a few other stories of billionaires going into like some like metal mode of transportation, like a flight or something like that, and a few other billionaires died last week and disappeared mysteriously.
Good. Get rid of the billionaires.
I don't think that they're really disappearing though. Like that's suspicious.
I don't care.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but some shit's going down.
I don't care. If there are less billionaires in the world, I don't care. That is the bottom line.
But you don't want to talk about it? I think it's fun to talk about theories.
I'll talk about it. I'm just letting you know my opinion up front. Now we're debating it.
What's there to debate?
I guess your drug use on the matter. Damn, woman.
Fine.
Why
are you laughing?
I'm laughing at your drug use. Like, you're so incredibly passionate about it. And then I'm like, what about you using drugs? And you're just like, well, I guess the conversation's over now.
I got really angry today driving.
You get real angry all the time.
Okay, but this bitch almost fucking caused an accident.
What an opening to a story.
Listen, my adrenaline went from like 0 to 12 in like 5 seconds. Like I knew this, so I was driving somewhere, and I get onto like this little highway stretch, and this lady kept like stopping, like on the fucking highway, but she was getting on the same exit as me, so I couldn't get around her. And then she went to the same place as I was, but she got into the straight lane, right? So I'm trying to get past her because she's driving like a fucking moron, and she just tries, all of a sudden, she just goes from the straight lane to my lane. I had to like stop as hard as possible, and then I fucking honked my horn at her 3 times. And you can ask Jordan.
3 whole times?
I never honk my horn.
Oh my god.
People almost hit me all the time, and I don't honk my horn. Like, I don't know why. I feel like it's saved for like really bad shit. Today was it. Okay, I honked 3 times. I was angry as fuck. I was like, that was the dumbest thing you could have done. Like, possibly. Like, it wasn't even like, oh, she kind of started to get over, so I could have like waited for her nicely, like let her go. No, she just got the fuck over, and I was like we were like this. Like, I wasn't like behind her. I was like this with her, you know? So she just
like
went
this.
And I had to stop.
All the listeners know what this is.
Oh, sorry. I was parallel to her, but not like behind her. Like kind of like in the middle of where her car was. And she just decided that was the best time to get over, was right into my fucking car. And then she sped the fuck away after I honked at her. She was scared or some shit, like I was gonna stop.
Scared. Okay, but that's the same thing you do. Like every time you get honked at, you speed away.
When have I gotten honked at?
I don't know, all the time.
I don't get honked at very often.
Very often.
And like when I do dumb things in traffic, like I usually like stop and wave at the person, like, "Hey, I know I was stupid."
Stopping is the
not
worst
stop
thing you
not
can
stop.
do.
I like I'm driving and I wave at
No.
them because I'm like, "Oh shit, that was stupid. I know. I'm so sorry. Like, thank you for letting me over."
You've already told us you stopped.
That's not what I meant. Like I meant like taking a second to like wave while I'm driving.
Yeah, pausing is the same thing as stopping.
I didn't stop driving the car though. The car was in motion the whole time.
Oh, thank goodness. You just weren't paying attention while the car
Shut
was in
up.
motion.
Tell me you got a better story.
Better story of what?
What's funnier than what I just said?
What's funnier? So you got your hair did today.
I did get my hair did today.
Looks fantastic.
Looks great.
Now-
It took 8 hours.
Yeah. Now, what you told me was it's going to take 6 hours. And then like 5 hours in, you were like, hey, it's almost done. It's about an hour till we're done. I was like, okay. 45 minutes later, I was like, you know what? I'll take the 10-minute drive over there. I'll hang around for 5 minutes. It'll be a good time. We'll walk around. It's in an outdoor mall. We'll have like this romantic little walk around. So this is what happened.
In the 103-degree heat.
I showed up, right? I parked near the Starbucks. I went in there like an asshole and just asked for an iced water. And they were just like, what's your name? I'm like, you need my name for a fucking cup of water? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, I hate this place. Like, you can't just fill up, turn around. Like, the cashier was incapable of like telling me why he couldn't just turn around, fill up a cup of water and give it to me. Like, he kept asking for my name. And I was very confused. So I walked in and I said, I waited in line patiently as I am. And he said, when I got to the front of the line, he goes, what can I get for you today? Or what can I get started for you today? You know, that Starbucks like bullshit line that they feed you. And I said,
asking you what you want to drink. Yeah.
No, they say, what can I get started for you today? All right. They always say that. It's bullshit. Okay. They say that. They say that even if you're not at the front of the line. They say that randomly. They say that dumbly. Okay. Anyway, I know. And they said, he goes, what can I get started for you today? I said, can I just get a cup of water? It's pretty hot outside. And he goes, yeah. And there was like a 4-second just of silence where me and him were just staring at each other. Nothing was happening. And then he stared back at me like I was the fucking idiot who didn't know how Starbucks worked. And he was like, can I get your name for this order? And I'm like, order? Motherfucker, it's free water. Like, I just want a cup of water. Like, you even hit a button on the screen and it said 0.00. It was free. It's water. And he's like, can I get a name for the order? And I'm like, order? And he goes, yeah, for your cup of water. And I go, Jose. And he looks at me, you know, fucking like sun bleached to SpongeBob in that one episode. And he's like, Jose.
Water.
He says, Jose, with like a question mark. And I go, yeah, can I get my water? And he goes, yes. And then he just like,
who was it?
I don't know.
What
And
did
then
it
he
look like?
goes, it'll be ready down at the end of the bar. And I was like, the end of the bar, all of the cups are within your like reach. Like, you could reach over and grab a cup and just fill it up with water and give it to me. And I was like, so I said, you can't make a cup of water? And I was just kind of, first of all right, let me backtrack. I was giving them a hard time, first of all, because it was hot outside and I was dehydrated and it was just against my better judgment. But second of all, because this guy was kind of being a dick about getting me a cup of water. So I was like, you can't make it? And he goes, no, I'm on like customer something or other, like the person who runs the register. He's not on bar.
Yeah.
It's two different stations. He's not allowed to touch cups if he's in charge of touching the register. That'd be crazy if he could just touch cups and the register. Anyway, so I was like, it's going to be ready down at the end of the bar. And he goes, yeah, that's where all the drinks come out. And I said, even a cup of water? And he goes, yes. And I just looked at him and he looked at me. And I looked back at him and he looked back at me and I felt like Weird Al, like we were just looking at each other. And eventually I was just like, okay, guess I'll go stand over there while I dehydrate. And I said that to him like out loud, and I was like,
That's so embarrassing.
I was like, I'll just dehydrate down at the end of the bar then. And I walked off and stood at the end of the bar. And then I was sitting there and looking at their little like fucking like label made pieces of shit stickers that are on the end of the bar that's like A through H, I through J, like L through Z. And I was like, oh, this is where the alphabet of losers go, huh? That's cool. I just wanted a water, but that's fine. And eventually my water came out. But before that, like while I was sitting there just staring at these letters, waiting for a cup of water to come out, you'll never guess what the guy behind me in line, he walks up to the counter as I'm just standing like 2 feet away waiting for my water. He's standing, the guy at the fucking register, the guy at the register, he goes, hi, what can I get started for you today? You know, typical corporate bullshit. And the guy, in his fucking glory, he goes, yeah, I just wanted a cup of water. Like the guy right behind me, he asked for a cup of water. And the guy was like, can I get your name? And he goes, yeah, it's water. Can I just get a cup of it? Like he ignored every conversation that I just had with this fucking cashier. And he said, no, you don't need a name. It's water. And the guy goes, well, I need a name for the order. And he goes, are you charging for water now? And he goes, no, I just need a name for the order. He goes, well, it's not an order. I'm just asking you as like a human being to a human being for a cup of water. I'm not ordering you to do anything. And the guy was like, okay, but I need a name. And then right as he said that, like the third time, someone goes, Jordan? And I would go, is it water? And they go, yeah. And I was like, thank you. And I grabbed a cup of water and I turned and I looked the guy dead in the eyes that was trying to order a cup of water. And he goes, it's a fucking circus in here to get water. And he goes, I know, right? And then we both walked out. Like I walked out with him as he's like, fuck this, water's not worth it. And he walked out with me.
I really want to know who your cashier was. Leaving. What did he look like?
It was just like, I don't know. It was male, probably 5'4", 5'5", a little bit heavier.
Dark skin?
No, he was pretty white.
Oh, he has to be new then. Oh, I actually think I know who that was.
But I was just laughing the whole time because I was like, dude, it's a fucking circus to get water. And the guy behind me was like, right? Like, isn't it even worth getting water? And I already had my water and he didn't. And he was like, fuck this, I'm leaving.
You know what's so funny is I went to Starbucks the other day and I asked if I could just get a cup of water. And she said, yeah, here you go. I'll grab that for you right now.
Yeah, I know. That's what he was within, I could reach over the counter and grab the cups to get water. He was easily within like arm's reach of a cup and the machine that dispensed water. And he was like, okay, can I get a name? And I was like, a name? Just fill up the fucking cup with water and give it to me. I was like, also, I left this out of the story, but I asked for a large cup of water. Like I specifically said large because I'm a fucking filthy, thirsty, fish-ass hoe and I want water. I want water. I asked for a large cup of water and he's like, okay, can I get a name? And then this whole thing transpired, right? And at the very end, they gave me the cup of water that was like the fucking child-sized cup of water. And I was like, it's not worth it to get into an argument with these people again. So I just left with my water. It was like barely enough to sustain me back to the fucking parking lot. You know, I was like, God damn, dude, it's like 115 out. And you're giving me like a fucking little like pre-cum worth of water, like a little kind of hair, so like funny. A little, like, how about you taste this water and come back later? That's what happened.
I bet they like talked about you after they left. They were like, who is this guy and his water?
Dude, I don't know. I was so bad. I was like, what? How are you going to be so stingy with the water? Ridiculous. Oh, man. You got your hair done today, huh?
I did.
What'd you get done?
I made it blonde. It took a long time. Talked to my stylist for like 8 hours straight today. That was fun.
8 hours straight? That's more than she's talked to me all of our relationship. Okay.
I've talked to you a lot, okay?
Okay.
But there's not much to say. Like honestly, it's all a blur. It took so long.
It's a blur.
It was a lot of work. Tipped her very well. We'll be going back. I'll be going back.
Okay, I was saying I'm not getting my hair.
I really liked her. I don't know. She's cool. And she's my age.
And she's my
Well, because I got recommended to her by a coworker who is like 18, 19 years old. So I didn't know what to expect, but I was like, oh yeah, we were talking about how, a lot of times like you have younger friends and sometimes they act their age. Like sometimes my friends do things and I'm like, man, you're really acting 21 right now. But it was cool. It was really fun. I really haven't had a connection like that with a hairstylist in a long time. So if you're in Austin, Jose Luis salon at the Domain is really nice. They are a little pricey because it's a major shopping center, but it was a really good experience. And the place smelled so fucking good. Like I walked in and I was like, oh my god, it smells good. And they had a little sign about their essential oils blend that they used for scents or whatever.
Is that what you used? Was essential?
Yeah, and then they had like a bunch of drinks and stuff, and then I was laughing to myself because like I came in, I had my Coke with me because I wasn't sure what they would have. And they did have sodas and stuff like that too, but I was like, oh no, thank you. And another lady came in right after me, and they asked her the same question, if they can get her any drinks, and she goes, oh yeah, like water, and I was like, oh, sparkling. She said, yeah, sparkling.
Sparkling water.
And they brought her out a fucking LaCroix, however you fucking say it.
Whatever.
And I was just laughing. And then I was talking to my stylist. I was like, I hate sparkling water. I think water should be flat.
Water should be flat.
I don't like sparkling water. It is a crime against humanity. And she was
water should be flat. But
I like cold, flat water. I don't want my water to be bubbly. Soda is good because it has syrup in it. Why would I want happy free soda? It doesn't make sense.
Happy free soda? Yeah.
It's like you took the happiness.
You're describing
out of
it
soda.
so terribly. Like I don't.
That's what sparkling water tastes like to me. Like you took the happiness out of it.
Wait, so sparkling water would taste like you took the happiness out of the water?
Yeah, I don't like it.
What?
Like it's bad. Like there's no happiness.
Yeah, but people describe being happy as like being bubbly.
Yeah.
And bubbly is sparkly, but your sparkling water is not happy.
It's bad bubbly. I don't like bubbly.
Okay.
It's not happy.
Ah. Alright.
What? Why are you so weirded out right now?
It's just your analogy.
When have you ever used the word confound?
What are you talking about?
You'd never use a word like confound.
What are you talking about?
That sounded so weird.
You called me a thesaurus earlier today.
I did not.
Yeah, you did in my head. And
Yeah.
Here's what happened. I have this fun story, and it's gonna take a minute. And it's, boy, is it something. Here's what happened. Okay, so after I had this debate with the guy at Starbucks about how easy it is just to pour someone water. Anyway, so I left the Starbucks with my child-sized cup of water in the 115-degree heat. And I was walking towards the hair salon because that's when you told me you would be done.
Mm-hmm.
Little did I know it was a lie, but I was walking towards the hair salon. And I got like most of the way there. And then you text me, it was like, hey, I'm drying my hair now, or like my hair's being dried now. It's going to be 30 minutes. And I was like, well, fuck this. I'm not standing outside in the 120-degree heat for 30 minutes. That's crazy of me. So I turned around, like literally like 5 or 6 feet from the entrance of the hair salon. I was like, fuck this. And I turned back. And I started going back, and the craziest thing happened. Guess what happened? That's not a guess.
A pigeon fell on you.
No. It was hot enough for pigeons to fall from the sky. Good guess. Good guess. I was walking back, and this like 5'0" fucking short skirt wearing ass hoe walks up to me. And she says, hey, you're looking sharp today. Now, at the time, I was wearing a short sleeve shirt and a pair of shorts that had like a bunch of paint stained on them, like white paint. So like arguably if you were walking past, you'd be like, that man came in his pants. Like that's how bad, like that's the color of white that the paint was.
Yeah.
And I was like, it caught me off guard. I was like, thank you, I guess. I said, thank you, I guess. And she was like, I don't know. She was experienced. Okay. She said, no need to guess. And I was like, you've heard this conversation before. She said, thank you. I said, thank you, I guess. And she goes, no need to guess. You're looking good. And I was like, okay. And then she said, do you mind if I ask what you do for work?
What the fuck is happening?
No, don't get ahead of me now. And I said, I looked at her and said, yeah, I'm in the military. She goes, oh, that's cool. My dad was in the military. In the army. I'm a bit of a military brat myself. And I was like, yeah, well, I appreciate his service.
Forward.
I was just having a normal conversation at this point. The first comment eluded me. I said, yeah, well, I appreciate his service, you know? And she said, how long you been in the military? This is like around like if we stepped like 4 feet to the right, like you would have been able to see us talking outside, right? Like within, like I could see the windows, like which you were through. And during this time, I put my hands behind my back, and I was like, I don't want to have this conversation right now, right? So I did what I always do. I transferred the ring from my right hand to my left hand. And I put it on my left ring finger. It's like, this will get him. And so then she's like, oh, how long you been in that? And I was like, oh, not long. I said, I'm only in for like 6-7 years right now. She's like, oh, that's cool. I've been a military brat my whole life. And I was like, yeah, that's nice. Like I said, you've been moved around a lot since you've been growing up like that. You know, like casual conversation, because I still don't understand fully what's happening here.
Yeah.
And
it sounds like she's trying to recruit you for like an MLM or something. Like,
nah, don't get ahead of me. She said, no, not much. I've only been in 1 or 2 bases throughout my life, and that kind of threw me off because like real military like brats have been to like a lot of bases, like more often than not. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. A lot of people move around a lot. She's like, yeah. And here's where the curveball came in. Right. She said, oh, well, my name's Brianna, by the way. I said, okay, that's nice. Didn't give her my name. I said, okay, that's nice. And she goes, she goes, do you see yourself being in the military long term? I said, yeah, pretty much. And she goes, with a straight face, after just introducing herself to me, she said, oh, well, what about your business ventures? I said, what about them? She goes, well, during your time in the military, have you kept your business ventures open to new opportunities? And there was about a 4-second pause, and it sounded like this. And then I looked her dead in the eye, and I said, my business ventures are closed. And she went, okay, well, it's nice to meet you. And she kept walking.
God.
And I was like, yeah, you too. And I walked the other way.
I'm so curious now, though. Like, where was she going with that? Was it Primerica? Was she a prostitute? Like, what was she wanting?
I don't know, dude. She was wearing a lot of makeup, like a lot of makeup.
And it was daytime.
And it was like 2 o'clock, like 2 p.m. And she was maybe 5'1".
Was she wearing heels?
She was 5'1". No, she was wearing like comfortable shoes.
Then probably not a prostitute.
But I was like, I don't know what just happened. But I like walked away and I was like, pretty sure she was gonna recruit me to some business scheme. Like as we were going, I was like, "Oh man, what a story!" I should have said yes.
Yeah, when I was leaving, I had an interaction with someone. I saw this lady walking, and she looked really good, and I was like, "Oh wow, I like your jumpsuit." And she said, "Oh wow, thank you." And their friend turned around and said, "I like your red shoes." And I said, "Oh wow, thank you." And then I kept walking, and they kept walking, and it was a great moment.
No, we full on, like, she said that first opening comment to me, and we both stopped and had a full conversation. And then she was like, "Do you keep your business ventures open?" And I said, "No, I do not." And she's like, "Well, it was nice to meet you," and kept walking.
It sounds like a line they used to teach us to say when I worked at the call center, you know, to like get somebody open to the idea of giving you money.
It's exactly what it was. That is precisely what it was. Because she saw me walking alone, and she was like, "Oh, it's easier to target people walking alone." And that is exactly what she did. She like tried to open the conversation, and I immediately was like, "No, I do not keep my business ventures open. Have fun with that." And
why are you so interested in my fiance's business ventures, huh?
It was amazing. I was like, "Well, cool." And then I drove back.
I just keep thinking I really want to do like those videos you show me of the people drinking and the dad jokes. Like I think that'd be so funny.
Oh, we're having like a joke off or something?
Yeah.
We need to get like an actual recording session though, instead of just the audio. Yeah. Because the video is pretty funny too.
I got a great camera.
I think we have the same camera.
I think yours is slightly different than mine.
Yeah, whatever. Just brag about it.
Mine's really old. Like this is the first camera I got for streaming, and I've just kept it since then. Like I've seen no reason to upgrade. Yeah, so have I.
Because like it's like, oh, it goes up to 1080p. I'm like, do people need to see me in 4K?
Yeah, you know, it does everything I need it to. Oh man.
I got cut off. I was behind somebody today. Were you with me when the person in front of me, the light turned green and they just didn't go for like a solid like 4 or 5 seconds, and I was literally
when you were about to honk but didn't?
No, it was different. I guess it happened twice. So like when you and I were together, I was about to honk and I put my hand on the horn, and the person behind me honked, and then the person in front of me went. That was different. That was fine. But on my way over to get you, to pick you up from the hair salon, the second time, I pulled up to a light and it was red, and it turned green, and it stayed green for 5-6 seconds, and the person in front of me just didn't go. So I went beep beep, and like I, just lightly tapped the horn. I was like beep beep, and they still didn't go. And like I was sitting there, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? There was like a line of cars going by me on the left. There was only like 1 or 2 cars behind me on the right, and this car in front of me. And I was like, what is happening? So finally, I was like, you know what, fuck it. And so I laid on the horn, and I just didn't let it go. It was just like constant, which is not a loud horn, but still, I was like, fucking drive, man.
No, my horn is so aggressive.
And the guy in front of me, finally, he started going. He, like, immediately as he started going, the light turned yellow.
Oh my
and
God.
I was like, that's how long you've been sitting here, motherfucker. Like, drive. And it was really annoying. I was like, oh,
that's it for sharing traffic stories. When I was taking myself back to the hair salon for the second session, I was driving, and the person in front of me, like, there was like a really big truck and stuff. So I stopped because the light turned yellow. So I stopped because I was like, I'll just let that truck like get some space in front of me. I won't have to deal with them. Tesla, however, blasted through the red light. Like it was red for a solid 3-4 seconds before Tesla blasted through it. And then he kept going and got stuck behind that truck and was like swerving behind the truck in another car. And I was just like, yeah, man, that's the exact fucking reason I didn't do that. Because I knew the truck on the left was going super slow, and then the really big truck on the right was going so really big truck. I don't know why the truck on the left was going so slow. But I was like, I'm just going to wait a minute because like there's no need to blast through this when I know I'm going to get stuck up there. Yeah. But he did not apparently pay attention to that. And he was just like being such a dick, driving so aggressively behind them, trying to get around. And I was like, you fucked up, bro. Like... And then I almost got into an accident. And I was like, oh!
You texted me about that. I was like, well, it must be pretty exciting if you text me.
I was so angry. Like I said, I honked at her, and I don't honk at people. Like it takes a lot for me to honk at someone. Except I think I told you about a few months ago when I tried to do like a little friendly honk to let somebody know the light was green.
Speaking of friendly honks, welcome to Mindless Prattle. My name's Jordan. This is Ripley. We're on episode 28.
I
We're only a
introduced
little
at the
bit
beginning.
into it. No, you didn't.
I said, welcome back to Mindless Prattle.
That's not the same as an
Well,
introduction.
you're not the same.
Wow. So exciting.
You're exciting.
I'm glad. Now, if you haven't heard us before, be sure to check us out anywhere you get your podcasts. If you're hearing this little clip, make sure you check us out on mindlessprattle.com. You can leave us a comment or whatever else you want to do. We'll read them for sure. Ripley won't. She doesn't like you that
Wait,
much.
are we ending?
Are you ending?
No.
Wow. Ripley just tried to end my podcast early.
You said the stuff you say at the end normally.
Maybe I want to do a little hybrid episode. You never know.
Oh. You gotta let me know. You can't just like throw things at me.
I don't have to let you know anything. It's called being spontaneous.
I don't like it.
Well, I didn't ask you if you liked it. It's part of the spontaneous effect, isn't it?
Spontaneity is not for me.
Well, Ripley here has been streaming on Kick. How has that been?
It's been a few days since I played anything on Kick. I was waiting for you, but it's been really good. I get a lot of viewers on Destiny. I like that. It makes it really fun to like know people like watching you, which is like duh, but like on Twitch I was having like 3 to 7 viewers average, so it's really nice that people on Kick appreciate me. But we're on vacation this week, so I haven't been streaming.
That is true. We are on vacation currently. Thank you for announcing.
Did you see?
I told my work that we were going to Vegas for a little like mini vacation-ish sort of thing. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's not you. And it's soft like you, but I told them I was going to Vegas, and they kept telling me to bring them back coins from the casinos. I'm like, I don't think I gamble as much as you think I do. What do you mean? Why?
Like, why would they want just a coin?
Because all the coins at the casinos are worth money, like tokens.
Yeah, but just to keep, like, for fun.
No, because it's worth money.
But they're not going to go to Vegas.
They might. If I give them like $200 in tokens, they might show up. Anyway, the Futurama trailer just dropped.
What?
I really want to watch it.
I really want to
right
watch
now.
it.
I was watching Futurama earlier today.
Did you see that the PlayStation chief, Jim Ryan, was asked why Xbox games resonate better with the customers in the US than outside the country? And he said, because people in the US like to shoot things.
That
He
is
said,
so true.
many of their games involve an element of shooting and online multiplayer, both of which typically are more popular in the US than they are outside of the US.
Yeah, but how is that not true of PlayStation though? Like PlayStation
They also have
exclusives
shooting games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like PlayStation exclusives are like God of War, which is violent, Horizon, which is violent, Ratchet and Clank, which is a shooter. Like, it's a third-person shooter, but it's still a shooter. Like what other? Like Little Big Planet is like the only exclusive they have that I can think of.
Honestly, I just don't know
shooter.
any PlayStation exclusives.
I just named 4 of them.
Like besides those, I can't tell you which one.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Like all the exclusives that I can think of are also violent. So like, why would it matter?
But we've been talking about this a little bit the past few days about like the Xbox and Microsoft thing going on, Congress and all that stuff. And it's just like, it's so stupid. It's literally the dumbest thing.
Yeah, for people who don't know why we're more up to date with it is because in my job I work for Activision as a game tester, and so they send me a lot of emails with updates on what's going on with the Activision and Microsoft merger and like what's happening with it. And also it being a high profile case, I just look up articles every once in a while and see it. But like some of the articles that are just like, oh, the chief of Xbox had to testify why Halo, when it first came out in 2003, was exclusive to Xbox, and how that relates to Call of Duty in 2023. I'm like, it's 2 decades later. Like, obviously, it's a different scenario,
Yeah.
Like, they ask him why Halo was exclusive 2 decades ago, and why they foresee why they're claiming that Call of Duty will not be exclusive coming in the future. I'm like, why is this
never been?
Why is this a topic of debate though? Why not just be like, hey, I want you guys to sign an agreement saying, like a legal document saying that Call of Duty will not be exclusive to Xbox? Like, why is this such a big deal that they have to testify that it won't? Why can you not just make them sign a document that says we require you to verify that Call of Duty will not be exclusive to Xbox? Like, I don't understand.
Well, and then the Xbox CEO has also said that he thinks that console exclusivity will go away in general. Like, he doesn't think it's a great plan in general. Like, he thinks in the long run, like, they will not have any console exclusives.
Like, when Xbox, like, 360 and PlayStation 3 and 4 came out, yes, it was a good idea to try and persuade people to buy one or the other. Now that, like, most of them are on PC and, like, low-end computers are becoming more available, and you can just buy whichever console you want, like, there's no particular reason to have exclusive content, you know? Like, in middle school and high school, talking with friends and be like, oh, I'm playing Halo and you're playing whatever on, you know, like God of War on PlayStation, you were like, oh, well, you guys can't play that and I can play this. And then they were like, no, I bought an Xbox and now I can play it. Like, that was a fun conversation. But nowadays, you're just like, why does it matter?
Yeah, or,
Like,
you know, like,
you
used to
want
go over to, like, friends'
whatever you
houses,
want.
like, oh, you have a PlayStation, we'll come over and play games on your PlayStation, and then next week you come over and we'll play on my Xbox, and it'll be fun for everybody, you know? Like, it's also kind of like a social thing.
Go on.
I had something to say.
You had something to say. We'll wait. Okay.
Oh, did you see, following the Titan implosion, that Netflix put Titanic back on its services?
Oh, the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
They saw an opportunity.
People were Googling it.
I actually was thinking, I was like, oh, I should watch the Titanic.
Did
It's
you
been a while.
see? Did you see the simulation of the submarine?
Oh yeah, I
implosion?
did. It looks so scary.
It's not scary. It's just like, damn, that's impressive. Like, immediately, it was just like, boop, gone.
The way
was like,
that like
damn.
it showed the physics of the thing like crushing in on itself. Oh no, that's my nightmare fuel.
I really want them to update that animation with like fake skeletons inside, just to show the people. Because like once it crushed down to so low because it just depressurized so quickly, there's no way they would stay in like full humans, right?
I saw a thing that
Like,
said there would have been a
got torn
split
apart.
second when like everything imploded that it would have been as hot as the surface.
Yeah.
But like I
Like,
said,
what
they
the
found
fuck?
parts of bodies floating in the ocean. I guess somebody might have had like a hip replacement or something like that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like everything that was human would have been immediately torn apart, and the
Disintegrated is what I was told.
the animation doesn't show that. It just shows like the metal on the outside being immediately crushed
Yeah.
and then falling apart.
It
Because
almost
it
looks
equalized-
like a
like, it
black hole the
equalizes.
way it like goes in on itself, you know?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what failure happened, but
Well, it was made out of carbon fiber, and not
Yeah.
just any carbon fiber, but expired airplane parts carbon fiber. Like they bought like airplane metal that was past its life date, like or whatever. Like it's like
Yeah.
past its use date,
Yeah.
basically from Boeing. And I'm like, what
I
the
saw
fuck?
I saw a little tweet about it that was like, you can't get mad at us for making fun of the incident. You know damn well that if Billy Bo fucking Bob and his 4 friends built a $200 rocket and tried to go up into space and exploded in the sky, it would be made fun of. It's the same scenario under the sea. Like, it's the same thing.
And it's just, I saw an interview with like the guy I told you that he and his son were supposed to go. They gave an interview about like why they didn't go and the red flags. And I could
Yeah.
tell the son of this guy was trying not to like laugh on live air at the like misfortune. Like his face kept like twisting. And they were like, well, what? And he's like, well, there were really just a lot of red flags.
There were. Like, if you asked them about any safety features, they were like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm like, that's not the right answer for a safety feature. Trick
The
question.
safety feature is that you won't know that you're dead.
If you had a question about a safety feature and they start off with "Don't worry about that," wrong answer.
If they say don't worry about it, you should absolutely 100%.
You see, Mr. Beast got invited to go on that expedition.
I saw his tweet about it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, I got an invitation to go on this sub. I'm so glad I refused. Like, that'd be crazy." I'm like, "Yeah, dude. Like, that's ridiculous. You got an invitation, and they were just like." The invitation was just like, "Hey, I have an extra seat on a submarine to go visit the Titanic in a few weeks." That is not enough information to pay $250,000 to go.
I would want the specs. I would want like everything. I'd be like,
yeah, dude.
But
That's what I'm
also-
saying.
but,
Like,
like,
if
to
I'm
me-
gonna go down in the submarine to the depths of the ocean, or like the stratos, or even in space, anywhere besides like on a standard plane to get somewhere, I will need the specifications of how you plan on getting there and the like review of how your like vessel is built. You know
To
what I
me,
mean?
it's just crazy that they use like those like old plane parts like that. Like, it's not good enough to fly in just regular air, and you're gonna put it underwater.
Yeah, dude. They've had like 2 test dives before they let people go on it, but neither of them were down to the depth of the Titanic.
Yeah, because it's
Even
not
if it
rated
was-
for that depth.
No, even if you would do you could do any study that you want, and if it was actually reviewed by people who know how submarines work, no one would have approved that submarine to go down that far.
Yeah, and I think I said this last week, but James Cameron said that like most leading scientists in like the field of submarines and stuff like that were begging him not to send people down there, like writing letters, like begging him, like, don't do this, it's not safe, like you really need to follow safety procedures, like something bad is going to happen.
Yeah.
Like trying to talk him out of it, and still nothing.
One of the engineers on the project argued that there were too many safety features. You know what one of the safety features is? Being bolted in with no way of escape. So even if you floated back up to the surface, unless someone found you, you would have still suffocated.
That would make a great scary movie.
Like,
People go on a submarine, come back up, and can't get out.
they didn't find the wreckage until after the air supply would have ran out. So even if that submarine floated back up to the surface fully intact, they still would have suffocated to death
Why
before
didn't they
someone
have
found them.
like when I've seen submarines in movies and stuff? Are you like I don't know much about actual submarine physics or anything like that, but when I
Right.
see them in movies and stuff, like they always have like the emergency porthole thing, you know, that
Yeah.
like, somebody can connect to and they can get out.
Yep.
Like, is that a normal standard thing?
Yeah, a way to get out of whatever vessel you're in is a standard safety feature on like every Navy and whatever vessel, like even spacecraft. Okay, the last craft that was designed to go into space or water that did not have an evacuation route or a safety measure, the people inside died because no one could unbolt the fucking window fast enough. The last spacecraft that went up and it came back down, the people inside were unable to escape a fire because it was
Was that the
bolted shut.
Challenger?
No, it was bolted shut from the outside. Every spacecraft since then has had an escape hatch where you can open it from the inside. Same with every submarine. Just in case you get stranded somewhere where you are able to get out, you are able to open it from the inside. But this fucking submarine that went down had no possible way of opening from the inside. So right there is a red fucking flag.
Yeah,
Like,
you could not pay me enough money to get on that fucking stuff.
no. And like if you looked at the pictures of it, like before they went down, some of like the pipes and things they were using for ballast were like PVC pipe that they bought from like Home Depot and Lowe's that they painted black.
That's like a high school theater project.
That's
Like,
what I'm saying. They were like on the sides. You know, have you seen the big the video of the submarine itself sitting on top of like that big platform with like 4 buoys and like a bunch of stuff? Yeah. If you look at the picture of it on there, on the side, like attached to the sides were like 4 or 3 on each side, like big rungs of literally just PVC pipe. And you're like, that is not ballast.
Yeah.
That is not how submarines
think
work. You
innovation
could
is
not pay me
obviously
to get on that.
important, but innovation should never come at the cost of safety.
No, and well, and that's what I said too. Some people were like, "Oh, this is crazy! Like, how would you get on something with such?" Like, have you seen the controller they use?
Yeah, it was a shitty Logitech
The
controller.
controller is like an old Logitech that was like trying
Like
to
the
pass
90s
off for like it was like 1997 that controller was produced, and I was like, I have flown operated cameras that are worth the camera was that I operated was worth like $300,000. I was operating it with like an Xbox 360 controller, but you could tell the quality when I was operating the camera on this like drone. You could tell the quality. Like the controls were just like because they needed something to control it really quick.
Just
Felt
something
like
people know easy. to
right,
use.
but it felt like something you could easily control. If you gave me a controller from 1999 and said, "Hey, you're gonna control a submarine that you're inside of with this," I'd be like, "No, you're crazy, man! Like this is way too old."
The
of a
input
controller."
is so
I was like,
slow.
"What the-
And I saw like I've been in the Titanic subreddit for a long time. And some people were like comparing this to like the Titanic accident, and I would just like to say that like they are completely separate. Like the Titanic was a 1 in a million like thing that could have happened, like the iceberg in that exact perfect way, you know?
I like reading the conspiracy theories about it though, because like the
They're
conspiracy
so
theories are
dumb.
great. No. My favorite ones are about the people investing in what was it, JP Morgan. Have you seen those ones? It was like the people who wanted to redo some like stock or bond or whatever were the people for and against the bill were scheduled to be on the Titanic, and everyone for the bill got on the Titanic, and everyone against the bill was suddenly like ill and couldn't go on the Titanic, and all of them died. And now the people that are the like 2 or 3 out of the 4 billionaires that died on the submarine are descendants from the families that didn't get
I
on the
did see
original
that.
Titanic. They were like, "It's ghost motherfuckers! Like you went down to see your handiwork, and now the ghost came back to haunt you and
But
killed you."
I kept seeing all these
And I was
memes
like,
that were
"I
like
love it! I love it!
I kept
It's
seeing
so
these
nice."
memes that
I'm
were like the third class passenger ghosts watching these rich motherfuckers die.
Yeah, dude, it was such a funny. I saw an article that just titled, what did it say? It was like another like great American tragedy, and then all the top comments were like, "Who gives a fuck if billionaires die? Like they aren't contributing shit. Get rid of them." And I was
You know,
like, "Yeah,
it's
you're
actually
right."
I saw a quote the other day. This billionaire apparently said, "I fear the day that the poor people rise up." And
Yeah.
someone, the top comment on it was, "That's funny. I fear the day we don't."
Yeah. Wait, you were in the same history class in high school. Do you remember the lesson that they taught us about change in politics? There's only 2 ways to actually inflict change. Remember that?
No, I don't.
It's either through evolution or revolution. And when evolution fails, you fail to evolve as a society. Revolution takes hold, and you get civil war and distrust and dispute, and that's the way that you lead to change. I feel like that's happening.
I also do, because you also, when you look at history, like, you know, major like civil wars and events like that happened at the same time. Like it was like each country set off a thing. Like you'd see people in other countries doing it, you'd hear about it in other countries. Like, oh, okay, maybe we can do it too. And I think that might happen as well here, but I don't know, because I feel like we have more distractions these days, like that make it easier to be poor.
I think that's the issue. Is people are like, "Yeah, my life really sucks, and it's worse than it would be in the Great Depression, but haha tee hee, I can scroll through TikTok for a couple hours before I sleep and go to the next like session of my job." You know what I mean?
Let me go work my 3 jobs, but in between, don't worry, I'll be watching the newest Netflix show. Like
that's what I'm saying. There's so many distractions. It's literally just the Coliseum in different fucking forms. That's all it is. And they're like, "We're gonna give them bread in the fucking fights, and that's it."
What is that quote? Pan et Circe?
Is that what it is?
Bread and circuses. It's also
Yeah.
what they base the Hunger Games off of.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, keep them fed and give them entertainment, and they'll do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's what it is. But even now, like, food is getting harder to buy. Like, the increase in amount of like payment that you have for food, or the cost of food, is just ridiculous.
Honestly, that's like part of the reason I don't even want to buy groceries anymore. Like even with like all the discounts and coupons we find, Like, it is just ridiculous. And I'm like, I already have so much food here, and it's just me. So that's why I kind of like keep going through stuff. But like going to the grocery store physically hurts.
Yeah, I know. Unless there's like a sale on something to like, the sale is the price that things just like normally should be.
Yeah.
Like fucking, I give you a great example. Soda. A case, like a 12 pack of soda should be like $4, maybe.
Yeah.
With inflation. Right now, if you go to the store and it's not on sale, soda is like $8.50, $8.70 for a 12 pack.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It's like, I'm like, that's ridiculous price for a fucking 12 pack of soda. Like that 12 pack of soda costs maybe like $1 to make, if that, you know? I'm like, this is like same with what is it? Eggs and butter. Eggs, the price of eggs finally went down again. Oof. Eggs were
they're like $7 for a while.
They were like $6-7 for a dozen eggs. Today I bought a dozen eggs for $1.50.
Damn, that's pretty good. The last time I bought them, they were like $2.50 still.
But it was like their small eggs. It was like their large eggs instead of their. By the way, if you're looking for eggs, you cannot buy a small or a medium egg. If you go to the store, you will only find large, extra large, extra large, or jumbo eggs. Those are the only eggs you will find.
Why?
You will not find small, normal, medium eggs. You just won't. But if you look up like an old like egg scale, it'll say small, medium, large, extra large, jumbo, whatever, you know. Which is just super weird because like the size of chickens has grown so much that no chickens are laying small or normal size eggs. They're all laying large to extra large to jumbo eggs.
Have you seen the lab-grown meat controversy recently?
No, I haven't seen that.
I guess they finally approved lab-grown meat for sale in the USA.
Nice.
And a bunch of people online are, I don't know, like when did our generation become like the anti-vax conspiracy theorists? But everybody was like, I won't do that. I don't trust the government. I can't eat that. And I'm like, isn't this better than what we're doing? Like, I thought the whole point was to reduce like the need for animals, reduce climate change output.
I think it's just a United States thing because I looked through a study the other day of just United States versus like Japanese food, right? Mm-hmm. And the amount of calories, fats, and just random other like processed calories and bullshit that was in there. Stuff. Yeah, it was 4 to 5 times the amount than like any Japanese foods. Like you could eat Japanese food in Japan, like ramen. Like if you got ramen from a Japanese ramen place, mm-hmm. 5 times a week, it would still be healthier than going to McDonald's like once in the US. Even if you went to McDonald's once in Japan and got like 4 orders of ramen, it would still be healthier than like one order of McDonald's here.
Have you also seen, I've seen people say that like people with like celiac disease or lactose intolerance and things like that say that when they go to other countries like Europe and places that they can eat their bread and their dairy just fine and have absolutely no stomach upset.
It's just the process and the ingredients and chemicals that the US allows into the food and puts into that food. Like the caloric intake is just so different in the United States. I saw a story about it. I read it the other day that was like, it was a person telling a story about how he lived in Japan for almost 3 years. And during that 3 years, all he did was walk places instead of drive. He ate whatever he wanted, never went to the gym, and still stayed in moderate shape. And then he moved back to the United States. He worked out 5 times a week, Monday through Friday, ate whatever he wanted, and gained weight and could not lose weight no matter what he did, even though he kept increasing the amount of time all 5 days that he was working out.
Damn.
He's like, the only difference, it was the food. Like I walked the same amount. I made sure I kept track of it. I worked out 5 times as much in the United States, and I was still gaining weight. He put it on there. He said, "I'm thinking about quitting my job and moving to a different country because of this, like just because of the weight gain and the difference." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really crazy. Like there's not a single aspect of our country that we can trust.
Not a lot.
But do you think like the preservatives in our food will kill us early or make us live longer?
I have no idea. Did you see that one of the the district court of attorneys is subpoenaing for a recording that implicates that Senator Ted Cruz was vying for the turnover of Biden's certification in the last election, saying that it wasn't valid? It basically implicates the same thing as the Attorney General saying that he denied like almost 1 million votes for Biden. That he was. It basically says that Cruz knew that Biden had won Texas, but said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna deny that anyway."
Oof.
Yeah, that's why I was like, "There's no way that this is still valid after that."
Well, did you see the stuff going on with like Supreme Justices on the Supreme Court, like having their like vote spot and stuff like that? Like I saw one where it was like his wife bought a piece of land that had like oil and stuff on it, and then he sold all these rights for oil and stuff, basically like gave all these people in the court like their rights to this oil and stuff like that, and just like that's completely fine apparently. Like Supreme Court justice can just do biased shit.
You see, I saw a meme the other day and I loved it. It was a liberal or a conservative. They're standing in front of a small button on a pedestal, right? And the conservative was like, "You can push this button and it will cause the Department of Justice to look into Trump's wrongdoings. However, it'll also cause them to look into all of Biden's wrongdoings." And the fucking liberal, or the guy on the left, he just starts smashing the button, and he's like, "No, wait, they'll implicate Joe Biden as a criminal," and the guy's still just smashing the button. He was like, "This isn't how it works." And
do you think that the people give a fuck how it works?
I watched in the comments, and I was like, there were so many people in the comments that were like, "Why would you implicate your own party's leader as being? Why would you ever hit that button, your own party's, and implicate your own party leader as breaking the law?" And I was like, because I don't give a fuck who's in that office. If they broke the law, they broke the law.
Exactly. I think there's a growing portion of Americans who are like, I don't care what side you're on. If you're doing shit that's wrong, you need to get the fuck out. Like, we're tired of it.
Yeah. But like, I just like that because there was only 2 types of comments. There was ones that was like, "Don't fucking lie, but you don't have any proof that Trump did anything wrong." And then the second type of comment was like, "Why would you implicate Biden if you're so against Trump? Like, this is ridiculous, blah, blah, blah." And I remember it was like,
Trump being a shitty dude does not mean that Joe Biden is not also a shitty dude.
Yeah, it was like, just because I'm against Trump doesn't mean I'm for Biden. It just means I'm against people who are fucking corrupt.
You know what? At this point, I'm for anybody with half a fucking brain.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, fuck this.
Like, you could put a golden retriever in office and they'd be doing a better job at this point. I just got bitter about our politics all again.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll see change. But, you know, what's cool seeing the 4th major economic recession since I've been alive.
Yeah, it's either evolution or revolution. You know what? It was easier to buy a home during the Great Depression than it is now.
And we should go eat our pizza. This got depressing.
All right.
Sorry about that, guys. We got really in our feels there.
That wasn't feelings. It's just opinions. But that's gonna do it for us this week.
Thanks for listening to our rantings and ravings.
Yeah, we did a little bit different because I'm up here for the week and we're in the same location. But if you have anything to say, comments, questions, concerns, maybe you have an opinion that's wrong, maybe you have an opinion that's right, most likely that's wrong. And
We'll let you know. Don't worry.
yeah, we'll call it back. Maybe we'll have a story that you want to share on the podcast. So if you have a joke or anything otherwise, let us know in the comments. Float ahead, and we'll be good to go. Hey, I have a joke for you.
Okay.
So let it go. I don't know if you've heard this joke before or not.
Okay.
You let me know.
Okay. Is this like a don't laugh thing or?
Sure.
I'm already losing.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Do you have a joke as well? To follow
I do
this
have
up
a
with?
joke.
You have a joke?
I do have a joke.
Okay, well, you go first.
Okay. Do you want to hear a joke about construction?
Okay, no.
Never mind. I'm still working on it.
I like it. That was good.
Ah, you didn't laugh though.
Okay.
It's my favorite joke.
Hey, is your favorite?
That's
Are you ready for mine?
Yeah.
All right. So my penis was in the Guinness Book of World Records,
Mm-hmm.
but then the librarian asked me to take it out.
That's silly.
Did you like it?
I did.
You like that joke?
Much nicer than what I was gonna say.
What were you gonna say?
For being so small.
Damn, girl.
Yours was funnier. Well,
I think I'm laughing more than you.
yeah, you are.
That's fine. We're working on a joke off competition coming up later.
I think that'd be so fun. I need to make jokes up.
Alcohol will be involved in everything.
It'd be a good time. I'm ready for my pizza. Let's go. It's been an hour.
Yeah, but why was the bee's hair sticky?
Why?
Because he could only use a honeycomb. It's okay, you can laugh. You trying not to? It's okay.
Trying to remember this joke.
He's just ignoring mine. Ugh.
I'll win at the don't laugh competition because I'm so dumb I'll forget we're doing it.
Did you? You're just gonna only think about your own jokes.
I'll just be like, I'm so sad.
So sad. Okay, what's your best joke?
I can't just like think of them off the top of my head.
Oh no.
It's a lot of pressure.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's black, white, and red all over.
What?
A vampire having a midnight snack.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh my god, you didn't even laugh a little.
I smiled.
You
Does that
smiled.
count?
You wanna know the biggest joke of them all?
No.
Existence.
I didn't want to know. I'm trying to end the podcast.
Okay, so
You
in the
just keep-
podcast.
I don't have control over it this week.
Alright, guys, that's gonna be it. Like Jordan said, leave a complaint, quandary, query, conundrum in the
Quandary.
in the box if you want it. Alright, that's gonna do it for Mindless Prattle today. We're mostly good. You have a good night, okay?
Are you Italian now?
Okay.
Yeah. we
It's
got
a
to
big
go.
pizza. I'm so hungry.
Pizza.
Feed me.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Doo-doo.